Saturday afternoon at 2:30, Lama Karma will be offering the vow of refuge to anyone who would like to become a practitioner of the Dharma, of the Buddha Dharma. And if anyone is interested in doing that, they can see me after the talk. And I'll help get you registered for that. There is no charge for that program. And then after that, after the refuge ceremony, he'd be giving the blessing empowerment of the Buddha Amitabha, and that this Buddha is especially associated with the state of mind after death, and it's a blessing for everyone to receive. And so I'm just incredibly touched that all of you would come this evening. And I'm looking forward to a very enjoyable weekend of hearing Dharma. And so it's customary to stand when the Lama comes in. So he'll be coming in shortly. Okay, thanks very much. Okay, you may be seated. Thank you.
Wow. Happy Losser. Happy Dragon Year. I think I have fixed it. Um, so before I chant or talk, I would like to sit a minute and thinking that starting today up till I mean, this weekend program is for the benefit of all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment. So please uh, settle down our mind and arise compassion or bodhicitta. So in order to arise authentic compassion and bodhicitta in Buddhism, we supplicate or venerate to our gurus and lineage masters. Therefore, please look at page 3 of the book, Mahamudra Lineage Prayer. Om Dojin Janjin Delo Na Ma Ba Me La Jun Je Ga Bo Da De Zoi Jin Za Gan Jin Ga Ma Ba Jie Jie Zhang Jie Je Ba Zhe Ma Da De Da Yan Za Zang Ba De Zhe Ba Za Sa La Jai Jai Jia La Nye Nyame Dranga Dhamma Gaju Sawa Deva Gaju Allah Yamba Nanda Yellow Gamba Azon Gamba Seno Gala Jai Ba Sendere Ba Jeve Ga Nyangara Jamba Meba Maga Go Azomba Yonder so never Yemen, Azomba, Panjarandambe, Anje, Jove, Ganje, Ganda, Landa, Nando, Jangara Atsumba Jaya Maya Jaya Amanga Jaya Gonde yemi baba jewa yanda na ma rame janje ba Sadon Yande Nero Boje Yangi Boje Yangi Boje Yo, yo. Jizu jungu nambanda wa nanga daya meje jen jijan jawa dhume lo anjambe yonzo bana. Ade dewa jaje jeje la jangu lo dende ya temba kone mamba jendo jaje zo de la. Jizu gan jala jungu je zebe ve don de je Jan Damba Gane Zanzibar Gajurambo Jala Zoje Yende Zanje Gana Yana Ya Gaje Zanje Gane Labeng Banganza Lama Boje Dazon Ruwa Lama Jala Zanje Zanje Jom Janje Pasaje me do baraje la jara zaja la no se llega do baraje la no se llega do baraje ona no gato ambaje Nanjilana Mebayan Daba Zobo Sanje Japan, Watumbo Jala, Juni Janga Bata, Devichi the Tamba Chutuni Chicken. Sende Doni the Yoba Zawa Nyamba Samba Zonju, the Toji, Arumbo Jazada December, Yala Consamba Zawa and June. Thank you so much for having me here once again, and I have a little short breath, as you noticed, not because I'm nervous, I ate too much. Vicky's food was so good. So I was keep eating and keep talking about cats. we were talking, the whole dinner time was talking about cats, you know. And my cat purrs 24 hours, 24/7. So we tried to ask Siri, is this something unusual? And we discovered there are some cats do that. So, you know, another wisdom. But once again, whether you practice Dharma, meditation, or teaching, or anything you do, if we are able to remind bodhicitta, compassion, we are doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment. And the world needs a lot of prayers everywhere. The wars, the fire rage in Texas, etc. And so that is utmost important. So I normally do a little meditation at the beginning because most of you know me. I'm a kind of emotional person. And if I don't just to settle down a little bit and, then I feel sometimes I do meditation or practice and then, half an hour, like, oops, what am I doing, So that's why it's very, very important to remind bodhicitta. And also, I often learn a lot from talking with people, and I had some interviews, and we talk about meditation, and it's very interesting because when you practice meditation or dharma, and if we manage to begin our day with some half an hour or 15 minutes meditation before we rush to make coffee. I mean, if you have to go to bathroom, you have to do it when you I will make some funny jokes. Sometimes I think it's a little funny, but maybe not for you. So you don't have to laugh every day I do that. But, because I like coffee, but, it's not like, oh, if I don't drink coffee, I'd be in bad mood, that's not how I depend on my life. So if we do like 10 minutes or 15 minutes meditation, and even we are emotional, and someone is very, like, mentally very active, naturally a little bit have some space and spaciousness in our mind. And for me, of course, and everybody's different. For me, it helps a lot because that flavor of meditation, that you just did, like maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I mean, that's not too long because sometimes when you take shower, some people, it takes like an hour, and but this is really a beautiful shower for your mind. And then during the day, there's a sense of serene, a sense of um, calmness and that flavor of meditation you just did 5 minutes. I didn't say 5 minutes, I said 10 minutes or like 15 minutes, something, and it really helps our uh, daily practice. So that was one of the discussion. And of course, tonight's topic is, I love the topic. That doesn't mean I can deliver. So lineage of wisdom, masters of Mahamudra. And whenever I have teaching here, and I always ask Lama, Kathy, to write the topic because she has where to write something very beautiful. And, we are visual people. When you look at that, it's very, for me, like, lineage of wisdom is so kind of, nurturing our mind in master class of Mahamudra. And so first of all, this is a Buddhism or Buddhism practice, or this is Buddha's teaching. And we have to first go back to the historical Buddha Shakyamuni. Historically, Buddha wasn't a Buddha. He was just like ourselves. And especially Siddhartha, the prince. I sometimes say princess, prince. That's a big difference. So Prince Siddhartha was, he was a billionaire. I mean, like he had everything that we pursue for. We want to have all this wealth, money, and everything. He got everything that we, whole life pursue. Retirement plan, all of this stuff. And he didn't have to work. He was just have fun and just enjoy. But at the same time, Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha, was very wise, and he kind of was very dicey about what's going on. This is the word I learned yesterday, dicey. I had some new words that I pick up. Conviviality or something like that. They are yeah, it's cool. Those are real cool. So he was kind of suspicious, like, okay, what's going on? All this beautiful luxury, and he was very analytical. He was constantly analyzing, and then he discovered that there's amount of suffering within the kingdom. There's the power. There was this constant change. Especially discovered that when he asked his attendant, because he was so elevated by the servants, everybody, then he thought maybe I'm actually beyond the sickness or age or such. And he asked his attendant, am I beyond these sufferings? And then his attendant, politely said, sir, unfortunately, you are not. You are part of this situation. And that's why, the Prince Datta began to search. He wants to discover a happiness, everlasting happiness. And this is actually very common because all of us, whether Buddha gave teaching or not, it's our nature that species, animals, people, whatever, as long as you have a mind, want to pursue happiness. And I sometimes, say, you probably heard this from me a lot. Sometimes some people like to repeat, that's me. So if I ask somebody, say, do you like to be happy? And you might, get angry. Why this guy asking, are you sane? Are you, that's, like, why you asking? Of course I want to be happy. And then I, ask again, how long you want to be happy? And of course they say, forever, you know. And so that is our actually, whether there was Buddha's teaching or not, whether there was different religions, the wisdom or not, that is our nature. That is our ambition, want to be happy, but also happy forever. Uh, so that's what Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, was searching for. He wants to find an answer that uh, for other sentient beings. He was very wise and also compassionate. He wants to find out that, if he wants to find or discover the everlasting happiness. And he was, asking questions to different teachers and different, sadhus or yogis. And uh, I'm glad my cat's not here, because if I say yogi, that's his name, he would say meow. Sometimes, like at my house, we say something, oh, this great master yogi, and then he comes meow. So there were a lot of yogis. Okay, there were a lot of yogis in India, and they give really brilliant answers. Oh yeah, you can achieve happiness, but Prince Tata was so wise that none of these answers were answering his, um, question, which was like, how can he be happy forever? And then he himself slowly discovered that, the happiness that we are talking about, maybe not, he doesn't have to travel different places. He doesn't have to, ask so many questions. He sends something like can be discovered within. Mm. And so that's why he did this 6 years meditation under uh, next to Niranjana River. And then he discovered, the everlasting happiness. That's why we call him, enlightened one. Enlightened one, in Tibetan, Buddha, Sangye. Sang means he awakened from ignorance, and Je means fully matured, fully developed. And then after he became enlightened, and he said the following statements in Tibetan, or he said in Sanskrit, later translated into Tibetan. Sarjutu da wasan dumatsa dizita wa chuje dagin sulatin ju kuamanyu mena nandam yidan nebracha, which means, historically Buddha gave teaching, the first teaching ever he gave was Four Noble Truths. Yet, based on that statement, it seemed like already mentioned about this his Buddha's teaching, because he said the profound and peaceful, beyond composition, this primordial wisdom or clear light is beyond elaboration. Something that I discovered, and it's very hard to realize. So I will be gone to forest for a while. And then he went to forest and meditate, and then some of the gods, Indra or like Brahma, they requested him to give teaching, and then he began to give teaching about Four Noble Truths, etc. And that's how Buddhism came about, because Buddhism in Tibetan Namba, which means philosophical ancient wisdom that fully emphasize inner wisdom, Namba. And so Buddha's teaching talk about everyone has a Buddha nature, and no matter who you are, everyone has the potential to achieve enlightenment. So that is how the source of the lineage, ancient lineage of Indian individuals, like Siddhartha, who become enlightened and become Buddha. And when we talk about ancient, so then people might think, well, if it's so ancient, then maybe it's no longer relevant. Did I say relevant? Oh, okay. First time ever used that word. Thank goodness, Buddha's blessing. And so, and then, this is like a water that I just drink, because at the time of Buddha, there were Ganges River or other water, and those water is no different from that of now, which means the lineage of wisdom, that's the topic, lineage of wisdom. When Buddha gave teaching, and then lineage of wisdom began to transmit. And when we talk about transmit, there's nothing to give, nothing to really refresh for sentient beings other than simply remind them. Because one of the Buddha's quotation says that I taught you how to liberate, and liberation is upon you or up to you. And so as I give in a knowledge as in the water, so the water in the past 200, more than 2,500, 2,500 years ago, there was this water. And, and now 2024, we still have water. So the water has nothing changed. Likewise, Buddha's teaching of the transformation continued. And I actually was sharing my recent stories about my three great masters. The great master, Tangur Rinpoche, who passed away last year, and I was able to be part of his cremation. He was in meditation, which means that, he was already um, recognized or liberated or refreshed or, realized his Buddha nature. And then, of course, like our own great teacher, Kimbo Rinpoche, who passed away 4 years ago. And he was in meditation for almost a week. And so this is what I'm talking about, the water from in the past, and continued that wisdom. And then a month ago, I was in Nepal, and my uncle, Lama Sonam, he was in lifelong retreat. He wasn't like reincarnated or Rinpoche or such, but he was in, always practicing past 20-something years in one place. And every time I visit him, and this is his expression, and he often express, I can't believe how happy I am. Almost like I get jealous. Yeah, because he's so satisfied. It's not because he's surrounded by all this wealth or, that, we think make us happy, but he was just very simple, yet all he did was just a meditation. Actually, his main practice was Om Mani Padme Hum, just, reciting 6-syllable mantra and meditating. And so when he passed away, and he himself predicted that he will be passing at the age of 93, which he did, and uh, he was in meditation for 3 months, no, sorry, 3 days. And so when I kind of witnessing these great masters, it's a very how do you say, refreshing how Buddha's teaching is. But of course, like, when we talk about this lineage of wisdom and the primordial or Buddha nature, it's not something we just put on words, but it's something we have to pursue, discover our own Buddha nature. And and so then the Buddha's teaching continued. Now we are talking about Mahamudra lineage masters. First of all, definition of Mahamudra. Maha means, great or pervasive. This primordial wisdom that Buddha discovered is pervade to all sentient beings. And one of the kind of teaching I normally share is that not mentioning that there was history or there's like greatness, but also applying within your own emotion. And when we apply our own emotion, is that I just use the word pervasive wisdom. And Buddha nature, primordial wisdom, indestructible, which means that when we experience this painful emotions, stressed or like negative feelings, and we become hopeless. I become very distracted, and I feel sorrow, I feel stressed, and then there's through the blessing of the lineage and through the blessing of your guru, you sometimes you kind of remember that very destructive emotion that you are experiencing is not part of who you are, your own primordial wisdom. Why are you experiencing this, very destructive emotion? At the same time, there is that silence, um, pervasive, innocent wisdom that is not touched by those stressed or emotions. Another word, while you experience a lot of emotions, there's also a very quiet at the same time because the emotion is temporary. It's like a current of the ocean, but ocean is very, very depth and profound and quiet. This is very important because then when you apply that, uh, something like when we are cornered, crushed by emotions, there's no escape route, there's no exit. So you have to use dharma. That means, oh, wait a minute. I feel very emotional. I feel very stressed. Yet, there's nothing really changed in my nature. There's always very quiet and Buddha nature within me. So that is, I think, experiential practitioner. It's not ideal practitioner. Because ideal, you talk about, oh, Buddha taught this, there's the Mahamudra, there's Mahati, all these fancy words, and that'd be cool. But it seemed like distant from our own experience. So Dharma basically means that moment you hear the instructions, instantly you apply them, and then you have more confidence in your meditation. So Maha means pervasive and vast and primordial wisdom. And then mudra means that pervasive or Mahamudra is for all sentient beings. There's no any limit. And when Buddha become enlightened, so he gave those teaching, and then, as I mentioned, all these followers become enlightened, and then our very lineage, we always start with Vajradhara. We don't normally chant with like Buddha Shakyamuni, but Buddha Shakyamuni is a Namanikaya form of Vajradhara, and Vajradhara is a Sambhogakaya form. The Vajradhara, you have the statue, and also you have pictures, the one who hold the bell and doje. And because when we talk about Buddha, there's Namanikaya, Sambhogakaya, and then Dhammakaya. So Dhammakaya means, as I just we can't express in words, but I did mention a little bit of like when you feel emotions and overwhelming emotions, and start to rely on coffee or like I sometimes have a like addiction to food, and very late night looking for a cookie or something. But because I'm on this seat, I have to teach you, right? Doesn't mean I can apply. But sometimes it's successful when you really pray to Guru. And so when that kind of emotion overwhelming happens, and then you, instead of rushing towards those addictions, simply lay back what's behind that sin, behind that feeling. And, then you may see something is not part of that emotion. Emotions just so dominating feels, but not not as it arises when you analyze. And there are teachings about this is that excuse me, like when you walk in dark and because it's dark and you may see some look like a snake, some sticks are hanging around, and you have a lot of fear, and you can't, maybe you just run away or something, but maybe somewhat, maybe you have good eyesight or something, you say, oh, is this stick or snake? And then if you have a flashlight and you look at it, it's actually just a piece of stick that was, blown by a wind or something. And then your entire fear and emotion will kind of, uh, disappear or constantly disappear. Likewise, when you begin to analyze and light this wisdom, I'm experiencing very dramatic emotion, but this is really, is this is this who I am? Is this the nature of me, or is this the embody of me, or is there something else? And then you kind of analyze and just simple rest. Sometimes without analyze, simply rest, and then you may feel a sense of pureness or like vastness or quietness in your mind. That is part of wisdom. That's how you begin to discover. And then I think you will have a sense of really confidence and enthusiastic to do meditation because you just felt something, right? You felt something sacred, something so uh, not an emotion, but it's just something very healing. And so then you don't have to always ask teachers like, oh, how can I maintain my daily practice? Because when you experience a sense of, this healing, and then it's like you found this your favorite chocolate, right? So then you already tested, and then you always buy that. It's not so healthy. I shouldn't talk about chocolate. But that's an example. And so Vajradhara, when we chant this Vajradhara, and then Vajradhara is the Sambhogakaya form of Buddha. And then Vajradhara historically taught these teachings or transmit to Tilopa, the great master Tilopa. Tilipa, actually. Til is do we say sesame, Lama, or sesame seed? Oh, sesame seed. So the Indian great master, Tilopa, and he was receiving all the teachings, and his way of adopting his Mahamudra teachings was like a sesame seed. And for example, like if we don't have that Buddha nature or primordial wisdom, if you keep meditating, just like trying to have oil from sand, how much you squeeze, it doesn't do anything. But sesame seed does, when you squeeze this oil. Likewise, you uh, not squeezing, just simply aware your mind. There's the, convergent wisdom, you experience such meditation. And of course, Tilopa then, passed his teaching to Naropa. Naropa is another Indian master. And he was born in like a king's family, and he was very, very learned, and he was one of the, great university, Buddhism university, we call the one of the protector of the gate because there were a lot of debates. He was so learned, he was debating and able to teach other, different masters how to, how logical the Buddha's teaching is. And so he had like all this knowledge, and he was like, oh, I'm very, very scholarly. He has some sense of arrogance. And then one day there was, elderly lady appeared, and she asked Naropa this question. Oh, do you know all the words of the Buddha's teaching? And Naropa says, oh, yes, I know it. And then the lady said, do you know the meaning of the teaching? He thought if I say yes, she'll be really, really happy. And he said yes. And she was very upset. He said, no, you only know the words. And there's my brother is in eastern side of India, known as Tilopa. You must find him. He's the only one who knows the meaning. So then Naropa actually gave up that knowledge in the um, scholarly career, and went to search Tilopa, and then he found Tilopa, and when he received teachings, he found that everything what we have learned was just, projection of knowledge, but it wasn't actual knowledge, actual wisdom. And so this is, I think, one hand, it's kind of a story. On the other hand, it's something could apply for us because, sometimes when we study Dharma, especially we are more learned and then, we have a sense of a little bit of arrogance and thinking that I learned a lot. I know. I mean, sometimes when I gave teaching about Mundu last year, and I was beginning to talk about impermanence, and one of the student, that student was very honest. He said, "Oh, it's the same thing. You're saying same thing, same thing." And I know about impermanence, and I said, "I think you don't know about impermanence. That's why you feel the same thing." Because impermanence is so important, especially meditators, because if you know impermanence, you will never discourage with meditation, because when you do meditation, all those thoughts arise and we are attached to that. That's why don't know nothing about impermanence. If you know impermanence, you can see thoughts just constantly changing, and that's not really waived your confidence or your wisdom. And so, as a practitioner, when you really, really practice and you experience a little bit of meditation, as our great teacher Kim Rinpoche always said that it is very important, in this life, before your death, should have some kind of recognition of your mind through meditation, and then you will be fine. Will be fine, meaning that you will be not lost. Of course, that is also one big topic that for the weekend we call Bardo teaching. So Naropa, who was so learned, scholarly, but then he began to discover this. The only way to actually experience the wisdom, I have to receive all this teaching from Telopa. So Naropa went through in order to receive all the empowerment transmissions as known as uh, four great austerity and 24 minor austerity or difficulties. He was basically listening to everything what Telopa said, including Telopa was asking him to jump from the building, etc. And in order to receive empowerment. And he did everything what Telopa said. And then one time he was, broken bones or something. Telopa asked him, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I'm narrow." Means I'm pain. So that's how Naropa, the name came about, Naropa. And then those are all Indian masters. And then the next master was Marba Lotsawa, who was from Tibet. And Marba Lotsawa went to India 3 times, received all the teachings, and then he gave that teaching to Milarepa. And the Milarepa story was very, very unique because, we sometimes feel that, in our life, in my early life, I took drugs and I did a lot of bad things. Am I worthy of practitioner Buddha's teaching? Or Milarepa life story fully answers because Milarepa, when he was young, his uncle and aunt took everything away, after his father passed away. And he basically, killed some of the people who did that. And then later, he really regretted. And then he is teaching and yogi. My cat is very beautiful, actually. Very, very beautiful. When I say his name, yogi, he's just so majestic and very, very calm until he goes outside. He will catch a lot of things. So the great Milarepa, his lifelong stayed on mountains and caves, and only thing he wore was a white cotton cloth and barely ate anything. And then he sang all these songs of joy. So that is another uh, proof or evidence that, happiness is within, happiness not dependent on uh, iPhone or candy or water. So I think, of course, these stories are very fascinating. And when there's a saying in teachings that, these stories are the example that we follow, which means that, sometimes, Dhamma teaching, which, if we, what we just said earlier, something very beneficial for me because I'm also someone has a lot of emotion, easy to stress, and when that happens, I just don't know what to do, and then I kind of think about what I was talking about, like you are overwhelmed with emotion, yet you are also perfect. Ultimately, your mind is very quiet at that time, and so we all go through changes, go through stress. And so if you apply that, if you experience a little bit of meditation, and then, there's a sense of joy, because when we talk about meditation, always say apply diligence. Diligence is not like not like us, like we struggle, we're fighting with our practice. Oh no, I have to do my meditation. You don't, like almost you worry about, or you feel, oh, there's a burden to do practice. If you have to watch a movie, your favorite, like, oh, you don't struggle. You're like, oh, just like said it, right? Oh, let's get popcorn. And so excited. So, you know, very important, if you do that kind of meditation. And so delighted to sit down and practice. And that's what diligence means. Shantideva said, "Tsankung gela tuo," means the definition of diligence means delight to practice, so looking forward to practice, but not on Christian also, like, wherever you go, especially when you experience emotions, and go through struggles. That's where actually Dhamma shine if you really practice. So that's how great master Milarepa did. He basically, uh, the Maba was very kind of stern, or Maba was very wrathful, because Maba discovered Milarepa has a lot of negative karma to purify, and he just used all kind of almost like a nonsense method that normal human beings doesn't accept, but Milarepa did. And then Milarepa becomes such great master. And then, of course, Milarepa transmitted his teaching to the great master Gambopa, where all the monastic followers emerge, and also the great yogi, again, Rechompa, and all the non-monastics and the lay practitioners, emerge. And then that transmission down to the Kamapa, this is called Kamakaj lineage, this particular center. And the first Kamapa, Samtimba, Karma means activity, means Pa is the one who holds the activity of all the Buddhas. And so there's a quotation from the Samadhi Sutra saying that there's emanation of Chinese known as Kamapa, who wears the black hat. You could see, especially from 16th Kamapa and also 17th Kamapa. And, the in every instant they liberate sentient beings in very different methods, different instructions, and one who we call liberate through seeing, liberate through recollection, and liberate through meditation, or liberate through touch, etc. And so that's how Kamapa's incarnation emerged, and is the sub Kamapa or Gentilian Doji. When Khyentse Rinpoche went to enthronement in Subu Monastery, his son Kamapa was, how old was he, Lama? When he found like 8, maybe 8 years old. And because Khyentse Rinpoche had a very close connection with the 16th Kamapa, and 16th Kamapa always like kind of a touch on his head, and then there's a very, very loving expression in Tibetan says, agama. It's like, mother does to her child, just like a pat on here, agama. And then Rinpoche went there and his son said, you sit there exactly where the 16th Kamapa normally does. He put his hand on him, said agama, and Rinpoche said he had tears, and he felt the same presence of the 16th Kamapa. So this is how the lineage came about, and of course I had the great opportunity to meet the 17th Kamapa, and I remember when he second visit to America, and he really likes to read books. And I told him proudly, I have so many wonderful books. And he's and Lama Tsotum from New Jersey both came to my room. I told his sons, my room is not that clean, which was really right. But he came and he's like, oh, you have many books. So he selected all my books. Some of my books. I had like handful of books, and then Lama Tsotum has handful of books. So we offered to him, and then he stayed maybe 2 more days at KTD. He doesn't get up early because he get up early, but he doesn't open the door because he also read those books. That's. And then before he left, and he said, I'm keeping 2 books. One is the biography of Tsongkhapa. One is the poetry book. And I love book, right? And I was, oh no, I lost 2 books. Because generally when your guru says that, right, you'll be so delightful, especially Sunan Kamapa. And he smiled, but I wasn't smiling because I felt kind of, oh no, okay, yes, please. But back of my mind was like, oh no, I lost 2 books, my favorite books. And then he went to Seattle, and maybe after a month, he went to India, and before he returned, he gave these 2 books to Kembo Tenchon, said, please, please make sure this books get back to Lama Kama, because he actually saw my greedy right there. There's nothing you can, kind of, he knows your mind. And I was like, oh my God. So now these 2 books become my, treasure. So that's how the lineage of masters came about, and of course, then continued all the way to teachers, and then it's all about not about lineage but also teachers too, because his own Skamapa is the head of this lineage. Doesn't mean he's able to transmit, but then his disciples, like my teacher or our teacher Khyentse Rinpoche, established the 3-year retreat, and he gave all these teachings of the Mahamudra and 6 Dhammas on Naropa, and the people we did 3-year retreat, and then you have your own different teachers, and as it is mentioned by the 6th Kamapa Thoa and his disciple Pengan Jamba Zombo, who composed this lineage prayer, that Sending Lama Jaya Tunding Lama Cheli means there are so many magnificent teachers, but there's one kind teacher, which means that we are not enough merit to meet Buddha or his disciples. Maybe we don't have that much merit to receive all this lineage from the great masters, but some ordinary teachers who practiced, and those teachers give us transmission or refuge and, mentor instructions. And so that's why Penganjamba Zombo said, there are so many great masters, but they are one kind teacher. And so teacher is extremely important in Buddhism when you practice meditation or practice deities. And teacher has many definitions. And someone asked Kimber Butcher, you probably heard this before because both Lama Kathy and myself always like to repeat what Rinpoche said because his words are so, special and profound. He said that teacher definition has many different definitions, but nowadays, if the teacher practiced the authentic lineage under a master and he or she has good connection or samaya with that teacher, that is one definition. And the second definition is he or she received teaching or lineage from their master is not sufficient, but this person has to have a compassion to transmit to the disciples. So compassion and lineage, that is considered, good teacher. So that's what you have here. I also would like to give opportunity people to ask questions, without saying I ran out of words to say, trying to save myself. But Michael was asked me that, do you want to have some questions? I said, yes, Michael, Mike. It matched, right? Michael, Mike? I said, yes, Mike. So if you have any questions, related with what I talked about tonight or any other topics, and please welcome. Thank you for your patience. Mm. No questions? Oh, that's the mic.
So, hi, Lama. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you for the teaching. Good to see
Oh.
you again.
Thank you.
Welcome
for
to
having me.
Columbus. I just have a question about, you said about Buddha Vajradhara, that he was
About what?
Buddha Vajradhara.
Yeah.
So Buddha Shakyamuni was an emanation of Vajradhara, not I don't know, a different person or different entity.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Like, yeah, he was a part of Vajradhara then.
Mm-hmm. Historically, Buddha Shakyamuni has, his own stories. But when we talk about three kayas, Buddha Shakyamuni was Namani Kaya, form of Vajradhara, and Vajradhara is Sambhoga Kaya, form of Buddha Shakyamuni, and then Dhammakaya does have form. Actually, there's actually a story about Vajradhara. He was born in such place, and the father, mother. I don't recall every details, so I won't talk about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think I want to make sure that don't waste your time. And tonight you got something from me, hopefully. And I think I always like number 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe I said 3 things that may be useful. And sometimes I say 3 things, only say 2 things, then I forget the third one. Anyway, I hope that won't happen. So the first one is, please, from now on, maybe you can do at least 5 minutes meditation. And the moment you wake up, the moment you wake up, just to sit up. Sit up is very important. If you not manage to go to shower, that's okay on your own bed. Total silence, because morning is very fresh and also kind of silent. Maybe I did say 15 minutes. So, and someone asked, how about if I need to go to bathroom? I said, I can't recommend. Just go. You come back. I don't want you to mess your bed. Your partner will kill you. Anyway, just a few minutes meditation. That is number one. And number two is that, just start your practice before you rush to practice and worrying about. Just have sense of compassion. I'm doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings. Then third is that when compassion is not working, your meditation is not working, you feel suffering and what should I do? You feel like shaky and, so your journals, kind of hit up and, in rushing all these emotions. And then maybe can just pause, that all these overwhelming emotions is just a surface of your mind. That is not who really you are. Who really you are is always silent, pure and innocent and, absolutely beyond those emotions. Then rest. That's it. So you may have a sense of relief. Relief is a good one because then you have a sense of relief, and then you have some confidence in meditation, and then you don't have to always fight with meditation. Oh, I can meditate any place, right? So those three things I would like you to try, and that's what I try. And I wouldn't say always successful, but it's helpful. Someone also very emotional. Yes, Lama.
We have a question from Zoom.
Oh, Zoom, I forgot. Hi, Zoom people. Sorry. We zoomed you from distance. Thank you for
Yeah.
zoom in.
The questioner asks, you mentioned meditation after the great masters pass away. They rest in meditation. And it says, could you talk about meditation at the time of death? Tell me what is that?
That's a wonderful question. This is definitely will be expanded during our, the weekend teaching. But when we die and all of our elements of our body, the earth dissolve and our physical body can't move, and then fire dissolve or begin to disappear the warmth of our body, and then water dissolve, mouth become dry, and all this happens. Everything dissolves, including then your consciousness also kind of dissolve momentarily, because consciousness is so connected with your body karmically, and then consciousness kind of lost. We sometimes say fainted, somebody fainted. So, but as at that time, there's a clear light arise. The moment consciousness dissolve, all these mental faculties dissolve. And if someone have good meditation, whether it's shamatha meditation, whether it's mahamudra meditation, if you have some stability of meditation, And then the clear light arises so vividly, more clear than that of experience during your lifetime. And so you immediately recognize, just like as we say, the ground clear light is like mother clear light, and then your practice is like child clear light. So when your mother, your child sees your mother, immediately recognize, and doesn't have any cautions, like immediately recognize and hug such. So that's where the meditation happens. And then because these authentic masters, they meditate whole life, and then they have choice. They could actually last for months if they want, but they sometimes they just do like 3 days. Like my uncle Lama was in 3 days, and the Kemburumbuchi was about a week. So it depends on how they choose it. And so that's what we call, enlightened. So they recognize the nature of mind, and then, it's up to them there whether they want to reincarnate intentionally or not. They can benefit wherever they benefit. That's a good question. That is, I think, the fourth Bardo when I talk about the six Bardos starting tomorrow. Bardo of Dhammadhatu. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience, and let me exercise my English also. I'm very joyful and very happy, and because with you, I also, it encourages me to practice, delight to practice. So it's always so helpful. So lastly, we would like to dedicate the merit of today's session for the benefit of all sentient beings. And we start on page 31. So let's pray for the long life of His Holiness Kamapa and Dhamma activity and no obstacles, continue flourish His Dhamma activities. We also pray for all sentient beings, especially personally want to offer this merit to my two great teachers, Tangu Rinpoche and Khenpo Rinpoche, and this little Dhamma activities becomes the fulfillment of these great teachers who give us everything, and return to the world as soon as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Also, we pray that this world may relieve from all the suffering of famine, war, natural disaster, and all these sufferings. Also, we pray that those of us who are giving teaching or listening teaching, able to have some sense of recognition within this life, and so inspired to do everyday practice without failing. And so we pray for all sentient beings. Kanda Zamba Deya Deyende Teda Genje Jesu Dala Enje Gewan Teda Jera Deya Ngoya Sanje Gaza Nyebe Dela Doi Chunye Me Dembe Dela Dang Dem Zen Dembe Dela Yedra Ngowa Mela Drojro Nje Badela Me Jabe Dema Ayon La Deje Jawa Baye male zozo drujane yede sanje sala ge brai jo jele jai jave jele ba kama ba de dembe nyembo Tandra ganja jaje jeme je dava be be raji jo. Thank you. Good night. Hasta la mañana. That's all I know.